Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ty and this is Ty the Space. In today's video, I'll be talking about the Aqara U100 Smart Door Lock. Now there's one striking feature about this door lock that sets it apart from many of the other door locks in the market, and that's because it supports Apple HomeKey. The Apple HomeKey is essentially a digital version of your physical key that lives within the Apple Wallet, alongside your credit card, debit card, or your other digital cards. Apple HomeKey is an Apple exclusive feature that allows you to use your phone or your watch to unlock your smart door lock by tapping against it. Not very many locks on the market right now support this feature, and Aqara is probably one of the very few on the market that supports it. However, if you do not have an Apple device, fret not, because this smart door lock also offers a ton of other ways for you to unlock it. First, you can use a physical key. This allows you to lock and unlock the lock. Secondly, you can use the keypad. You can go within the Aqara app or within the Apple Home app and generate a random code, and then use this to unlock the smart door lock. Thirdly, it has a fingerprint reader built into it. You can store up to 50 different fingerprints on this smart door lock. I've used it a ton of time and I find it very responsive and effective. I actually love it. And finally, you can also unlock it remotely using the app, whether it be the Aqara app or the Apple Home app.
For those with kids, you'll be able to purchase NFC cards that can be programmed to work with the lock. If they lose the card, you can easily remove it and replace it with a new one, unlike traditional key that will require replacing the whole lock, although it is not available yet.
While the connectivity is not limited to just the Apple HomeKit ecosystem, you can integrate it as well with the Google ecosystem, Amazon Alexa, or even Home Assistant. However, in order to explore a lot of all these functionalities and features, you do need a hub. The U100 supports Bluetooth and Zigbee 3.0. Now this Bluetooth is only useful for when you are close to the door lock. The smart door lock only supports Aqara hubs. I currently have mine integrated into my G3 camera, which has the hub inbuilt into it. However, this does not give me the Matter functionality. In order to have Matter functionality, you do need to get the Aqara M2 hub, which will give you that Matter functionality, and then you can go ahead and integrate it into Amazon or Google's ecosystem, or even Home Assistant for those of you that use that as well. There are a ton of other features as well that come with pairing this up with a hub. In fact, if you don't have a hub or don't plan on buying a hub, I don't think you should even consider this smart door lock at all, because you're going to lose at least about 65 to 70% of the features by not getting the hub. If you have the hub, then you can do things like the auto lock functionality. So essentially, if the door is open, it would not lock, but if the door is closed, it will automatically lock, because it has a gyroscope inside of the lock that tells the angle of the door. This was a functionality I enabled in my previous door lock by combining it with a contact sensor. So it's quite nice to be able to see that this is inbuilt into the door lock without having to use a contact sensor. This door lock costs about 249 Canadian dollar and comes in just one color. So if you're planning to match it up with other colors, then you're kind of out of luck with this guy.
You can view the access history of the lock and see who or what was used to unlock the door. You cannot currently do that within the Apple Home app, but that is something that would be resolved in iOS 17 in the fall. For those that are worried about battery life of both your device and the lock, there is a USB port on the exterior of the lock for emergency charging. You can use a portable power bank or plug to a nearby outlet. For iPhone or iWatch, even when they are dead, you can still tap to unlock the door up to 5 hours after the phone is dead using power reserve. And in the event of an internet outage, the lock still unlocks with the iPhone, the watch, fingerprint, and even the key code.
Let's talk about the installation process for this smart door lock. The installation process is quite similar to any door lock install, except for some minor differences with the back side of it. There are three main components to this door lock. You have the front piece, which has the keypad and the key, the mid piece, which is the deadbolt, and then the back piece, which has the battery components as well as the control modules. You want to start out with installing the deadbolt portion by making sure the top writing is facing up. In my case, I had to do a little bit of modification and trimming with my multifunction tool because it wasn't sitting flush. Once I was able to get it to sit flush, then I proceeded to install the front piece. You want to make sure that the notch on the turn key is actually facing upwards, because it should be facing upwards as well on your deadbolt. Make sure you slide this in through the hole and then route the cable underneath the deadbolt. Once this is all done, then you want to proceed to install the back piece. Now this part is the tricky part. you need to take out two covers, the main cover and then the cover of the control knob. Aqara provided a tool to be able to pop this cover open, but I kind of found this tool very flimsy, so I ended up just using a flathead screwdriver. Pry open this cover, and then this opens up the access to the battery component. Then you want to also pry open the cover of the control knob, and this will give you access to the holes that you're going to use to bolt the back piece to the front piece. Next, you want to go ahead and connect that cable that you had passed from the front piece. Connect it into this back piece, and then mount the back piece against the door, and then attach your tiny screws and use it to bolt the back piece to the front piece. Once this is all done, put the cover for the control knob back on, and then mount your 4 AA batteries and then cover it back up. Now you can go ahead to the app to follow the instruction. It's quite straightforward and easy to follow. Overall, I think this lock is quite good and offers a ton of feature for the price point. However, there were a couple of issues I had with this door lock. This was actually the second door lock I got. The first one I did get had issues with the deadbolt. The deadbolt wouldn't turn, whether by physical turning or even by controlling from within the app. I ended up having to order another one, and that seemed to resolve the problem. However, this introduced another problem. I do have Airbnb guests over every once in a while, so I usually generate codes on the app and then send it over to the guest. At least that was what I used to do on my previous smart door lock. However, my last two guests who have tried to access my home using this door lock have had issues. I noticed that the door lock would always jam all the time, and it would require physical intervention from me to unlock the door. This kind of defeats the purpose of having a smart door lock, because now I have always had to be around to make sure I let them in, because it has always jammed all of the time. I'm hoping that maybe the lock just needs a little bit of a break-in period. If not, we'll see how it goes, and I'll end up just returning it or reaching out to Aqara's customer support. That's the only issue I'm currently having with this door lock, and I hope that this thing would actually get resolved, because for me, it is a big deal breaker. Because one of the reasons I got a smart door lock is so I don't have to interact with the door lock at all. If I have to be interacting with it, then it defeats the purpose. Do you have this door lock? Do you have any problems? Do you like it? I'd like to hear down in the comment section. And I look forward to catching you guys in the next video. Peace.